Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of the Urban Homesteading channel. If today is your first time visiting with us, we want to extend to you a very warm welcome, and we want to invite you to watch any of our over 420 episodes that we have arranged for your convenience in playlists, as we are confident you're going to find something both useful and entertaining to consume. If you've been here before but you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Do subscribe. If today is your birthday, we want to wish you a very happy birthday. Last week we showed you a piece of furniture that we found for $8 in our local secondhand store. That was very smelly. It looked very nice to us, but really it was not suitable to even bring inside yet. And also had the need of some repair on the veneer and some other little things that we needed to take care of. Last week we showed you how to do that, and we took this from this to this. And now, this week, we're going to show you the finishing touches and how we're going to make this $8 find into a piece of art, Eastern piece of art. So stick around and we'll show you how we did it. Alright folks, and our base layer has, which was kills, is completely dried, and we're ready to move in the next step, which is going to be actually several next steps. We purchased some paint samples, and this will be our top.
No? Sides and the bottom.
That's the size?
Yeah, this is the sides.
Okay.
This is going to be the top.
Okay.
We're using a copper for some of the accent work.
Okay. And the Mod Podge?
Mod Podge is going to adhere the paper to our front frame.
Okay.
And then this paper is going to go on the side of the drawer as an accent for when you pull it out. It'll be kind of a surprise element.
So we hope to make this $8 find into a several $100
and we've also got
work of art.
This mandala that's going to be in that copper tone on the top of the side table.
All right, and we have a smaller mandala.
And then this one, we're at least going to use these corners for the sides of on each side of the table. Haven't quite decided if this is also going to go on this.
All right, so let's get started. We're going to start on the base of the top. So while we're finishing the sides, the top will be drying, and that sequence is important so we don't have to wait a long time between what we're doing and the next step. We're going to use some inexpensive rollers. We actually bought them at the dollar store in order to avoid having brush marks on our finished product. And again, we're going to use the teal, we said. Is that the color?
Yeah. The shade of teal, yes.
And I'll bet there is fighting the extra secure bottle. Now, we like the idea of having a slightly different color top than sides. And of course you can do even a greater contrast than we do with a complementary color, right? Or again, if we had our burning here, this would probably look great if we were to utilize the Suzuki bang. Not Suzuki bang.
Suzuki. Suzuki bang.
Alright, so we're starting by putting some paint in the middle there. Well, it's not quite the middle, but you know what I mean. And now, a very satisfying, it actually is very satisfying, it's immediately transforms it. Oh, that looks great. All right, and while we're doing that, we are cutting the base color of the rest of the piece, which will be a heavier blue or a deeper blue, what you will call it.
It's more of a blue. This has the green. Blue. Yeah.
A what blue?
Aegean blue.
Aegean?
Aegean.
Aegean. Okay.
Should we take?
And our top is about finished and it looks really great. Is that what you're going to do it the same on the top? Tom?
Well, this is just the lip.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The clip, you want it the same color?
Yes.
Okay.
Just because of the unevenness, it will need a second coat, but we have plenty of paint.
What unevenness?
It's uneven.
Yeah, there is almost something very exciting when you paint. It's an almost immediate transformation, right?
Yeah.
But you can see it starts shaping right now. And it really, I hope it's coming on camera as good as it comes in person, because it looks really great.
So this is the first coat that we have. We've got a good base coat of the colors that we want, and we did a little custom coloring for the top. Originally the color that we bought for the top came out very, very bright green, which was not exactly the intended color, right? What would you call the one that you were actually going for?
Really, I wanted a deeper, more bluish feel, and what we got was much more green than I had intended. So.
Yeah. So we mixed it with a little bit of our kind of smoky blue, and came out with a much softer color.
And so the blue is a really great color, but we can see that it's a little bit uneven on the sides. But if you look over at the drawer top, we're going for that deeper color, and so we're going to do another coat on the other side, on the sides of the main body, to get it more deep like that.
Yep.
So while we're finishing the other details and paint of the piece, we are starting the detail by extending this frame structure that is around the door and the drawer using a brown finish.
It's copper.
Copper. Sorry. Brown copper. Copper brown?
Just copper. So it's a metallic copper paint.
Ooh.
Now, I don't know if you can see the sheen in it. Or not, you might need to move a little bit, I don't know. I can see it really well from the angle I am.
No, it looks good. It's a little hard to know exactly what the camera sees, you know, until you actually see it. But and that little bottle will be enough for everything?
We hope so.
Otherwise, we'll have to do another trip.
Yeah, I know.
Someplace rather.
That has never happened to us.
Never. We don't trip.
We don't run out of things that need to go. And,
That came round the wrong way, didn't it?
a little bit.
All right, so we're going to finish this, and by we I mean Elpida, and we're going to be back with you. Our top has dried sufficiently, and as you can see, any of the repairs we did in the top are totally invisible. They've disappeared as we were hoping they would. So we're very happy with the overall repair. As this is drying, we might give it a couple of more seconds to dry, but we're going to get ready to do the medalla. And we're going to show you that process, of course. We have placed our stencil in the position we want it, and we are going to get ready now to start the stenciling process. Again, this can be any stencil you desire. We chose a medalla, and we're going to use the copper again, is that correct?
Yep.
And we think it's going to look smashing. Is that the right term? Smashing?
Yep. Smashing is good.
Smashing.
You ready?
Yep.
Are you painting or just patting?
It's kind of a padding. Now it's more of a padding. The idea is for the paint to go on top, but not necessarily underneath the stencil.
Right, because then it will bleed. And
Right.
all right, we're going to finish this process, and we're going to get back with you as soon as we're done to show you the result. Ta-da! Okay, we are looking over the stencil to make sure that we have not missed any spots and do some final retouching. And as soon as we finish with that, we're going to be able to remove the stencil and look and see how the mandala looks. And I bet it's going to look amazing. What do you guys think?
A few little light areas here.
So this is an interesting process, and you have to get it right on the first try. There are no do-overs, right? So that's why we're taking time now to make sure that there are no spots that they look bare to our eye. I guess you can do some small retouching.
You can, but it's very difficult to keep it
You
from
have to have a
messing it up.
Yeah, pretty steady hand.
Right. You ready for the reveal?
Okay.
Maybe there.
What?
You might want to touch up that area. Sorry. Okay. Maybe I was wrong, I don't know. Who wants?
She's got it.
Ready?
Yes, on your mark.
Oh, fantastic.
On the plus side, we can repair this, no problem, without
Right.
disturbing the mandala. It looks
The mandala looks amazing, yeah.
gorgeous.
And what happened there is our paint was not completely finished, I guess, drying. And a couple of spots came a little off, but that's something we can fix. But the mandala looks really, really good. So lesson we learned, wait maybe overnight or something to do this.
Yeah.
It is by no means a catastrophe. Again, all these areas are repairable. I mean, if you can see here, just lift a little bit. And I was noticing when we put the stencil on, it had kind of an adhering quality to it. Yeah, it was a little sticky.
It
So,
seemed sticky when you touched it, but the
Right.
plastic was a little sticky.
so again, had we waited overnight, probably we would have avoided this, but I don't think this is a big deal anyway. So we're going to go ahead and repair it, and we'll be right back with you. So we repair our top, as you can see, and that was a very easy process, so do not worry about little things like that. And you can see our mandala there, and this ties to the detail here on the door, and also we added some detail on each of the corners, as you can see, and again using the same color to tie everything together, which I think is the secret no matter how you choose to finish it. There are many different finishes that you can choose here, but the key is to use the same colors. You know, we use the blue as the main color and the teal as an accent color, and the brass as the accent color as well. So from here you can go in any direction you desire. We're very happy with the way the mandala finished. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it looks nice.
It looks really good. And we're very happy with the finish of these, the little edge pieces as well. They complete the piece nicely, and they also tie everything together. So we start from the top, and as you can see, we have a very nice transition here with the detail in each corner. And the front, again, we have the nice detail. And of course, the middle will not stay that way. There are several ways you could finish that. For example, you could use some chalk paint and have a child draw things. You could draw something there yourself if you're so inclined. And we're going to show you our idea on how to finish that. We're not going to leave it there. Or you could even have it blue or even the green, right? You can do a lot of different things if you just want to paint it. We're going to go a little further with this, and we're going to show you in just a few minutes. But you can see right now the whole piece and how it's coming together, and we are very pleased with the way this is turning out, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And there we go.
Yeah, we're good. Stop.
What?
Stop. Because you like to keep going and then it's going to run.
It's not going to run. That's why I'm doing very light presses.
Okay.
All right. And what we used here is what? A clear coat.
A clear coat in order to... Here, hold on.
You might be too close for the thing
There
to
we go.
focus.
Just a clear coat to help seal the top so that hopefully will offset any potential damage to it.
Especially because we have put the mandala. Otherwise, we wouldn't need to do that at all. And also protect it if someone was to put a glass
Right.
that might have some condensation. And when you clear coat with the can, or when you paint with the can, it's the same process when you use a spray gun. You go from one side to the next, you start a little before the area you want, and end just beyond it, and you make light passes that they go the whole width or the whole area you want to cover. And the pies is supposed to overlap. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So I don't know if that was visible,
Yep.
but
So now we're gonna let this whole thing dry, give it some dry time, and come back and work on finishing up that front section.
the surprise. For our next step, we set the cabinet on its back on our tarp, and we are going to start the next process of, and the last, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. And what we're going to do, we're using the paper we bought.
Oh, that's almost perfect.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So then, I guess the question is, lining that up. But it's just the side. How
Well, and there is a gap in between, so it doesn't have to match perfectly.
Well, right. But it's got a little bit of a
Right.
edge, so we're gonna have to cut some pieces.
Yeah.
Piece in on the side.
Using a utility knife, we are tracing the outline of that detail. What do you call that? The frame. So we have an exact match of the paper to the frame, and we're going to layer the two pieces and end up with a virtually not a joint. We've already cut the pieces that we need to cover this area, and we're going to now start the mud podging process. I made it a verb. Mud podging. And the method we're going to use is we're going to cover this whole area with mud podge first, right?
Yeah.
And then we're going to layer the pieces on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to go over the pieces again, right?
Yeah.
Right. So we're not going to subject you to doing this painstaking process on video, but this is something you will have to do for this technique. And we're using just a normal paintbrush. Correct?
Yes. Regular old paintbrush.
We cannot use a new one, it has to be an old one.
Well, this is a new one, but just regular.
It's a new old one.
Nothing special about it.
Right. All right, folks, we'll be right back.
Fit through this one. Try to piece it in, because
And the difficulty with this that makes it a little harder than normal is that we have all these curves, right?
yeah.
But we trace these curves with a utility knife, so they are supposed to be perfect, a perfect fit, right? Okay. And then you have to put that again.
Yeah, the other part is just making sure that everything's flat and no bubbles in it.
Right. Flat and no bubbles.
This one on this side?
Do we need to put some on top of this one?
After we put all of them together.
Well, but
We
just because
did,
this one's gonna lay on
Yeah,
top.
we didn't on the other side, but
And now you're going to put it on top again.
Because we have another layer of stuff, I actually have to go over this, so otherwise the next layer won't stick.
Right.
There's a bubble.
Now we bought all these supplies at our local Hobby Lobby. We are not sponsored by Hobby Lobby, but we're just telling you where we got them. I'm sure you can get this in any art store, wouldn't you think?
Just about.
And also I know Amazon, but the paper, they had a very nice collection of papers. Mm-hmm. We contemplated some old map design, but then we decided this was a better look. So we went with this one. Is that the correct one?
Yep.
Okay.
Center it though. Okay, is that about right?
And that looks great. Now you could do that with a picture, but if you do, you need to print it on normal paper, not what you call it, not photo paper, because this method doesn't work with photo paper, but I guess you could glue the photo paper, right?
Well, you could. It's just going to work better with regular paper.
So there are a lot of ways you can finish this part, but we wanted to do something, since this is a nice frame that naturally existed in the piece.
Right.
And this is kind of an imitation handwritten, right?
Yeah. Imitation handwritten, like letter or something.
I mean, it doesn't say anything, it's just
Right, it just is made to look like handwriting.
Yep. We're working on another detail here, which is the drawer side. So when the drawer is open, you can see this. And we're using another type, the same type of paper with a different design on top that is matching the mandala and the details in the corners.
I'm not getting it very straight.
Scissors. Don't cut yourself.
I think scissors is probably, they're behind you. Or, yeah, I think they're behind you. So, now that we've got them scored.
Very exciting.
So this is really just an extra detail as a reveal when you pull the drawer out for it to.
And then off camera, we're going to try and make another reveal, right? Kind of finish the inside.
Yeah.
So we are full of surprises, or full of something. And we'll probably have to trim it with the blade when it dries anyway, right?
Maybe. More coffee. Okay. And then this little piece.
Now we know that in the store there were a great many deal of different designs. So here your imagination can change the piece in 100 different types, right?
Oh yeah.
It is whatever you like, or if you do this for hire, whatever your client likes. This will be probably a very nice project to sell as well.
Let's flip it and do the other side.
All right, folks, and this is our finished product. The mandala looks really good. The paint and the contrast looks very good. Okay, yeah, there we go. And the details in the corners look fantastic. Our front area looks very good with a handwritten detail. Very nice. Very nice detail here, as you can see. It doesn't want to focus. And you can see the detail on the side. It is both on both sides. And you can see it gives it a very, very nice character.
And it's got the color scheme. It's got the blue and the turquoise and the copper.
Overall, we're very pleased with the way this turned out. You want to close it, or?
It's got a lot of personality.
You know what they mean when they say it has a lot of personality when they talk about a woman, right? You want to close the drawer, please?
Do I want to, or will I?
Will you want to? And this is our completed piece. Why I cannot get it all in frame? Oh, there it is. Ta-da! Fantastic. All right, friends, and this brings us to the end of our episode. If you did enjoy this episode, we ask that you support us with a thumbs up, a comment, a share, a subscribe if you have not done so, and of course, hitting the notification bell so you know every time we do a new project. From the Garage Wizard, Mrs. Wizard and Elpida, and the Urban Homesteading channel, we had a blast doing this project, and we're very, very happy with the way it turned out, not up. And we're going to see you next with another project. Farewell, friends.